I still remember getting my first real job. It was the summer after I graduated high school, and I had a friend who was the hiring manager at a high end clothing store. And he offered me a job to be the stock guy. Basically, I unpacked all the new merchandise and made sure it got down to the floor so people could buy it. And at first, I was so thankful to have this job. And every day I showed up ready to work, ready to rock. But over time, my job began to feel like a chore. I began to distract myself while I was at work, talking to other coworkers, listening to music, barely getting the job done every single day. And after a few months, I had no motivation to show up or to do well while I was there. And maybe for some of you, you've just started working a bunch of hours now that school's out. And maybe you're having a similar experience to what I had. Yeah, my job is fine, but I don't really want to go. If I didn't need the money, I wouldn't show up. And there are days when you show up and maybe you don't have a great attitude or you're not super motivated to be there. You would rather just stay at home or hang out with your friends. Truth be told, I think many of us have been there at some point or another in our lives. And sometimes, even as adults, we can find ourselves saying things like, I just need a day off. I just need a vacation. But the truth is, what we actually need is a shift in our attitude about work. The problem of not liking your boss or not wanting to show up to work or not having motivation to get your job done is not new. And Paul writes about it in Ephesians chapter 6. In verses 5-7, Paul says this, Bondservants, obey your masters with fear and trembling, with a sincere heart, as you would Christ. Not by the way of eye service, as people pleasers, but as bondservants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart, rendering service with a good will, as to the Lord and not to man. Paul is speaking specifically to people who are bondservants or who are slaves. He's telling them that when they show up to work, they shouldn't do it just to please people. They shouldn't do it so people think well of them. They shouldn't even do it because they have to. Instead, every day, they should show up and work as though they are a servant or a slave to the Lord Jesus. So this week, you're not simply scooping ice cream, selling clothes, or washing cars. You are serving the Lord Jesus Christ. And our work ethic and our attitudes while we're at work should not be based on how good our boss is, how much we love our coworkers, how much fulfillment we get from the actual job that we have. Instead, they should be based on our desire to serve the Lord in every part of our lives. So as you go to work today or this week, let me encourage you with this. Go with the intention of working for the Lord. And as you go with an attitude to serve the Lord, see how He will change your view of your workplace and how He will work through you to transform the lives of the people around you.